Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Patreon podcast. This week, I wanted to talk about picking yourself up. I know I've talked about regaining momentum and your creative inertia in the past, but I feel like this is prevalent to me right now, post kitchen remodel. So I wanted to talk about it real quick, partially for my sake, and partially because this is kind of a perennial topic that never really goes out of style. So, yeah, in December. We did a remodel of the kitchen and kind of really half of the main level. We had to do some ceiling work and a bunch of other stuff that was a lot of fun. But because of that, I was basically locked in the basement with 4 cats for 3 weeks, to keep them calm and safe and all that other stuff. And, everybody's fine. The kitchen looks great and everything's done now, aside from some of the work we have to do. But because of that, I really only spent a couple hours in my studio throughout most of December, and that was for the 2-hour track challenges. And I feel like I missed out on a lot of things that I need to work on in December. I need to finish Pandemonium. I need to finish a bunch of other album stuff. There's a lot of things that I really, really want to get done. But it's hard to recenter myself and refocus and try to figure out how I want to get back into the groove of things, how to pick myself back up. And it's a slow process. And I think that's the first thing that I wanted to talk about with this, is that it's not something that happens right away. I think I said inertia before, momentum and inertia. And just like when you hit the gas pedal on your car, it doesn't immediately go to 60 miles an hour. It takes time for that energy to get converted into forward momentum again. And I think that your patience is one of the very important and very key things that needs to be kept in mind when you are approaching this kind of stuff, because it will just take a couple weeks for me to get back to where I feel was normal. And that stinks. And I really wish that it wasn't like that, but it's also important for me to not get frustrated, because if I get frustrated, all I'm doing is just delaying the momentum. I'm just waiting for it to happen. And you can only do so much at once. And I want to make sure that when I am focusing on this stuff, I am focusing on it as best I can, but I don't have I don't have a timeline set, where I'm well, I need to be at this point in 2 weeks, or I have failed as an artist. It's those kind of ultimatums. I apologize for the squeaky chair. That's another thing I need to replace this year. Holy cow. Those kind of ultimatums for your creativity can really, really hinder your progress, because if you don't make those, then all of a sudden you've lost this this kind of confidence in what you've had before. So I think patience is one of the key steps. And another one is just bring yourself back into the fold slowly with this stuff, because it's really easy to try to look at your lists and all the things that you have to do and all the things that you need to do, and just get completely overwhelmed with what you feel is appropriate for where you were. Yeah, but where you are now is completely different from where you were. And it's important to realize that, it's going to take time for you to get back to that point. I have a very bad habit of overdoing my to-do lists, and I'm trying very hard to keep them pared down to something that is reasonable and something that I can accomplish, throughout the day. Whether that's, recording a podcast, or in my case, I'm setting up the 2-hour album challenge preview this afternoon, not to mention my stream. But so I have to go mail some stuff, and I have to go get gas, and I have to do some cleaning in the kitchen and all this other stuff. It's all of these little things, checking something off of that list gives you that momentum. It gives you that positive and re-encouragement that what you're doing is productive and what you're doing is contributing to your forward momentum. So I feel that it's really important to make sure that you're lists and your goals are tempered in a way where you're not going to overburden yourself. You're not going to overwhelm yourself, because my pace in November was crazy. Like, I was doing so many things. And if I tried to pick myself up to that pace right now, I would not survive very long. But I'll get there again. I'll get there and it'll be fine. But just right now, I just feel like I need to make sure that what I do is really, within the boundaries of how I want to handle this. And then really, it's just, when you do set those goals, make sure those goals are reasonable. Like, I still need to finish Let the World Forget Us. It's something that's on my list, but it's also something that's going to be on my list probably for February and not for January, because that's a big project, and I'm not in the right mental state for that right now. Being aware of like your current state of mind is a big thing when working on certain projects. Let the World Forget Us requires a very certain state of mind that I don't have right now, because I'm not mentally, I'm not centered enough to contribute meaningfully to that album project. So a lot of what I'm doing is I'm trying to wrap up Pandemonium, and I'm trying to, prepare for the OST jam and the 2-hour album challenge jam and all this other stuff that's very, very important, but not necessarily, the things that I want to do. So I guess aside from the first 2 points, prioritization of your progress and your projects is really important as well. Because if you're working on the wrong project, it might be detrimental. And like always, a lot of this comes down to just mindfulness of how you want to approach your projects and how you want to progress as an artist. So just kind of taking the time to both understand that you have been going through something. In my case, it was a remodel, but in the past, it's been like kind of dissociation or bouts of depression or any of that other kind of stuff, where it's just like things that have been kind of pushing me back and slowing me down. And that's fine. That's valid. And that's okay. But recognizing that is the important part. And then you can learn how to start moving again, and understanding your priorities is really important. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today. Hopefully you found this valuable. I really have been struggling the past month. Really, I think the construction started last month around this time, and it's really hard to believe that an entire month has passed. It feels like the longest month of my life and also the shortest month. Just sitting in the basement every day, listening to people pound away upstairs in the kitchen, and kind of just remove cabinets and all that other stuff, just keeping the cats safe and sane. And, I didn't have anything to do because my main computer has all that stuff. I tried to do game dev on my laptop, but it's just kind of like, that didn't work super well. And it was a problem. But, I'm past that now. There's no people in the house anymore, aside from my wife and myself and, obviously the cats. And it's on me now to get back to the way things were. Like, there's no more outside influence changing the way that I approach this kind of stuff. So I'm excited. We're starting season 18 of the 2-hour track challenge tonight. By the time you listen to this, you will probably already hear the output of that. I hope you liked it. I hope I like it too. And yeah, this weekend is the 2-hour album challenge. And then the OST jam goes, and these months are always so busy, and I love it. It's so great, but I also have to make sure that I'm mentally prepared for that kind of stuff. So, okay, as is tradition, I've rambled on for another 30% of the thing after I said I'm done. So now I'm done for real. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for being a Patreon supporter. I really genuinely do appreciate it. I hope that you have a fantastic Friday and a wonderful weekend. If you are a music producer, consider joining the 2-hour album challenge. It's super fun, and it's hosted mainly on the Discord, 2hac.abstractionmusic.com, or just ping me on Twitter or Patreon or wherever else you are, and I'm more than happy to give you details. All right, I'm done. Take care. Bye. Be remarkable.